Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. We've got some more sales and purchases to go over. A bunch of sales here. I listed a lot on eBay recently, so we'll do it in the reverse order. We'll go over the purchases first. I believe there's only 4 or 5 of them, so it shouldn't take too long to go through those. First up here, looks like a bunch of throw-in cards, which is always nice. But got a bunch of, not a bunch, but got a few of these helmet cards. So you can see I got the Kimi Antonelli there. Really good margins on that card for grading, about a 50% gem rate. So I do like to pick that one up. And then these ones here, you can see we got 3 of the Lewis Hamiltons, which I think long term is also pretty good. It's got extremely good margins on it right now as well. But first year driving for Ferrari, you know, it's just going to be an iconic, team and helmet for him to be wearing. So I do think that card long term will actually do pretty well and probably outperform the rest of the set. So I've been buying a lot of them. If you've been watching the channel, you've seen that's probably been one of my most common pickups that I've gotten is the Lewis Hamilton helmet card. Next card here, pretty cool looking card. This is 2006 Topps Chrome Derek Jeter X-Fractor. Looked clean. It's going to come down to if it had surface scratches or not. That's just kind of what you run into with the older Topps Chrome cards, but Jeter's definitely a good one to try to grade. The surface actually doesn't look bad on it at all. I'll have to inspect it closer, but it looks pretty good. If you can get Jeter stuff graded, there's always going to be a collector out there that wants it. So pretty happy to get that 2006 Topps Chrome X-Fractor, and also got it at a pretty reasonable price as well, I believe. Next up here, this is a really good play. It's a pretty cheap card raw. I've been able to buy them at pretty consistently under 10 bucks, which is pretty crazy in my opinion. But the Buster Posey 2010 Topps rookie, this one here doesn't look like it'll be good to grade. Looks like we've got some corner problems on it, but this is a card that goes for over 200 in a 10, and you can buy it for less than 10 bucks raw. You can see right side, both those corners got problems, which that's okay. You can pretty much get your money back, maybe lose $1, but when you've got the opportunity to turn a $10 card into 200, I'll take having some that aren't good. And the gem rate isn't great on this card, but 9s are close to a break even. Back when you had your PSA value bulk rates, not anymore. This is a silly card to send in at the current prices, as are most cards, but it's definitely one that I've got a few sitting aside, and once they open value bulk back up, I will be sending them in. So there's that Posey, and then this last purchase here, looks like we've got some 2026 Topps base cards thrown in it, which is always nice. I'm gonna want to work on that set as well. So a bunch of cards thrown in there. That's actually more than I usually expect to see for throw-ins, but we've got another of the 2010 Topps Buster Posey. This one, the corners look better at first glance. We'll give it a quick inspection as well. Corners look pretty good, maybe a little off center left right. Top right corner on the front, a little questionable. We'll look it over. It's still one I'd consider grading, just since you throw it out there. If I submit 5 cards and 2 of them gem, I'm doing really well on this card. So pretty happy with that Buster Posey purchase. Again, selling for under 10 bucks seems like a crazy steal to me, but we're gonna go ahead and look these over for grading after this video is done. Now let's get into our sales. We have 16 different cards that sold, all to different buyers. So a lot of packaging to do, but really strong sales. Again, I think I listed like 30 cards on Saturday or Sunday. So yeah, when you list that many cards, you got to expect to make sales. First one, Serenity Refractor Cooper Flag, took an offer at $42.50 on this one. $50 is a pretty solid price to sell this at. And then with having a minor flaw on it, 15% discount off that, I'm good with that. Have a decent amount of these off getting graded right now. They've got really good grading gem rates and really good margins on them. So a few of them, have a slight corner issue or surface issue that I don't want to grade them, but still happy with that sale at $42.50. Take the money and buy another one that's cleaner to grade. That's kind of my philosophy. There's no point in not reselling the cards that you don't want to grade. Otherwise, you're just sitting on cash that could be working somewhere else. Hadger helmet, not graded. This one sold for $5. Nothing special, but I'm able to usually get the helmet cards. Sometimes they auction them off in bulk, so maybe there will be a few Hamiltons, a few Antonellis, and some of the Hadgers are thrown in there. You can usually kind of piece these out. Hadger, Bortoletto, Behrman, sell them for $5-7 a piece. Chip away at your money, and get into the other cards that you really want at a much better price. Hamilton helmet, this one just wasn't clean enough to grade. Sold it at 20, and I've been able to buy them at 15 to 20, so not a card that I'm taking a loss on selling raw at all either. Paul Skeens, this one was just off center, left, right. I bought a lot of 5 off of DC Sports. I think 3 of the 5 look clean enough to grade. You know, that's just what happens when you buy a lot. You're buying, usually you can buy lots at cheaper prices because you're not buying the one specific card that looks good. There's a couple ones that aren't as good, but $25 sale on that one, also pretty good. You know, he's been struggling here recently. I think the month of July, he had like a 6 ERA or something. Not great for Skeens, but at the end of the day, he's gonna be a solid pitcher long term, in my opinion. Tarek Skubal, rainbow foil. I listed a bunch of Skubal stuff once he got traded to the Dodgers, and I've done pretty well selling it so far. This one sold for 10. Not great margin on this one. I think I bought it for 7, so probably only making $1, but some of this other stuff I did a lot better on. This is a pink refractor. This one sold for 15. Probably was into it for 10 to 12. A lot of these I did want to grade. I do have a refractor PSA 10 I sold. Those do have really good profit margins, but this one here, you can see a little bit off center, top, bottom. Would have likely pulled a 9 if I graded it, so would just much rather sell it raw, make a couple bucks. Luis Garcia Jr., I was big on buying him a couple years ago, and he's been having a great season this year. Got traded to the Yankees, and that kind of spiked his market up too, so this one sold for $4 or $5. We've got an unlicensed Drake May rookie refractor. This one sold for 23. Got a couple of these out at grading as well. These cards actually have a pretty good margin on them. I stopped buying them because I think the play would be to sell them before the season, as you know, most football quarterbacks are. About 90 of them will take a dip, and then the 2 or 3 that are performing really well will continue to go up in price. But it's too late to buy these now, and I'm not going to grade them for $80 a card. That's ridiculous. For this card, you wouldn't be able to make any money on it. So got a few off at grading, and that's all I was able to hit there, which it's all right, you know. That's how the cards work. You keep finding new ones to get that are a better play than the ones that are kind of going out of season. Boa Hancock, this one-piece card here, just a bunch of whiting on the bottom. Wasn't going to grade well. Showed it in the pictures. Someone bought it for 100, which I'm pretty happy with. I did decent on the one piece that I had in my TCG order. Mainly just learning from that order. I definitely know that for, you know, any sort of one piece, I want to be buying stuff that's at least 2 years old and looks clean, just because they don't fluctuate in price as much as the newer stuff. Jose Altuve, this one sold for 20 bucks. His Topps Update rookie. That's about what you can buy them for. And if you can grade them, you can do really well on it. This one I think just had a slight, you know, top right, bottom right corner looked a little soft to me. Would have likely been a 9. And then this insert Ohtani sold for 15, the 1989 Topps Chrome. Again, this is a card that lower gem rate. I've said this before, the gem rate's in the 30s, but you can buy it raw for about 10 to 15 bucks. And if you get a 10, it goes for over 200. So, you know, if I pick up 3 or 4 of them, I expect to only grade, you know, at most 2 of them that I think look good. The other ones you can pretty much get your money back on, but at least you're into the other cards at a good price to get graded. So that's it for the raw cards. Now we've got some graded cards to go over. First one here, I've had this for a while and just figured it was time to sell it. You know, there's no point in holding on to it. I don't see Jose Abreu appreciating long-term at all, even though he is a former MVP. In the COVID season, this is his first Bowman Chrome Auto PSA 9. Sold for 15. Here's a nice red sapphire PSA 10. This one sold for 35 on the Carson Kelly. Just not a big name player, but still a good card. You know, someone that either collects Tigers, red sapphires, or Carson Kelly is going to be happy with that one. This is what I was talking about. Did really well on this Skubal refractor. I think I bought it raw for 15. Got it graded for, you know, about 25, so I was into it for 40, and it sold for 185 after he got traded to the Dodgers. So really strong sale there on the Skubal. Have done really well with his stuff. Need to list a little bit more. As of filming this, he is making his first start with the Dodgers tonight. So if that goes well, I'd expect the other Skubal stuff I have for at least some more of that to move as well. So good profit there. Same thing here with his base rookie. This one sold for $75. This is one you can buy for $2 raw. Off season, this was a really good play if you could get in the off season because they were only a couple bucks raw and there wasn't much graded. So PSA 10s were going for slightly over $100, so really good margin there. But again, turning $2 plus $25 grading into $75 is, you know, it's really good. So I'll take that. I've got one more to list and sell as well. I've got a bunch of his raw ones that are just kind of sitting aside, that either aren't clean or I'm not going to grade them right now for $80 a card. So, you know, maybe I'll figure out something to do with those in the future. But 2-time Cy Young winner, seems like he's going to have a few more dominant seasons in him. I do think that those might be decent ones to hold on to for a couple years, since you're only owned them for $2 a piece. And then Clutch Gene James Harden, gold geometric, sold for 18, PSA 9. If it got in PSA 10, it would have sold for more. James Harden's going to be a Hall of Famer. There's just not much of a collector's base there, and I really do think that's due to 2 reasons. One, he's played for, you know, almost every team in the NBA, it seems like. He doesn't stay places very long. And then 2, has had no playoff success. So, you know, just doesn't have, you know, it's not like LeBron or Jordan or Curry where he's going to have, you know, his jersey hanging in the rafters and a long-term effect somewhere. He's just kind of team hopping at this point. So a lot of talking, a lot of sales to go through, but I wanted to showcase it all for you. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, like and subscribe. Let me know down below in the comment section what you think of these sales and purchases, as well as other video ideas you guys have. If you do want to buy anything that I have for sale, that will be linked down below in the eBay description. And as always, thank you guys for watching. 2K for life. Peace.